Today I effed up by not going to the doctor for my heartburn. Over the past year, I began experiencing pain. It felt like the center of my chest was on fire. Due to the burning sensation and the location, I assumed that it must be what heartburn felt like. I'm in my mid-20s now. My parents always have tums on hand, and my best friend often complains of it, so I assumed that it was something that happened with age. I went to the store and bought some antacid chews and pills, and was sure to keep them on hand. If I had something I knew could trigger it, like Chinese food, I would be sure to take some before I went to bed. At first, the chews seemed to help. If I woke up with heartburn, I would take some and sit in an upright position until the pain went away. But after a while, it began to seem like it wasn't really helping. I also noticed it tended to happen in bursts. If I had heartburn, I knew I would be more likely to have it again the next day, so I was careful with food. However, I could go months without having it at all. Last week, I woke up and felt a bit of discomfort coming on. I took a tablet and went back to sleep. I woke up an hour later in a lot of pain. I took more chews. I ate saltines. I sat in an upright position. Nothing was helping. It was bad enough that honestly I couldn't even sit still. I realized at that point that heartburn probably was not meant to hurt this much, but honestly I wasn't really thinking at all anymore. It was becoming agony, and all I wanted was the pain to stop. I thankfully actually only live a few minutes away from a hospital, so I drove myself over. It was around 5 in the morning and empty. I told them that it just hurt really bad in the center of my chest, and they got me back right away. At this point the pain was very bad. I was rating it at an 8 out of 10, I was worried I was being dramatic, and I began throwing up. As they were tending to me, they asked, "Do you have a family history of gallbladder issues?" Oh my God. Yes. My sister had hers out a few years ago, my mom had hers out, my aunt had hers out, and my grandma on that side had hers out too. How did I not think of that? They gave me a bunch of meds, then took me to ultrasound, and yep. Gallstones, and actually stones stuck in the neck that would not clear, which is why the pain wouldn't stop. A surgeon soon was in to talk to me and told me that while they can't tell for sure based on the ultrasound, it was possible I had cholecystitis. He said my gallbladder had to come out no matter what, but that possible diagnosis only increased the urgency of when. I told him I just wanted to get this over with, and a few hours later, I was in my first ever surgery. It was confirmed during the surgery that I indeed had cholecystitis. I spent the night in the hospital for the very first time too. Did you know you can order chocolate shakes at 7 a.m? It's been a week now and recovery is going well. I'm happy that I'm never going to experience that horrible heartburn ever again. But I'm also kicking myself for having gallstone attacks for a year without realizing it. I won't ever ignore health issues like that ever again. TLDR, that heartburn I had been experiencing for the past year was gallstone attacks the entire time. Not a FU. I had my gallbladder out in my late 20s. It still took me a couple of years after that to realize that the brutal attack of ulcers I had in my late teens was probably my first episode of cholecystitis. Gallstones are usually thought of as a disease of middle-aged people. The mnemonic for med students is fair, fat, female, fertile and 40. It's easy to dismiss them as something else until you're really painful. Thank you. I've actually been working on weight loss. I'm down about 15 pounds so far. The nurse told me gallstone attacks can often be triggered by weight loss. Are you kidding me? This is the thanks I get for trying to be healthy.